you want us to laugh about the Taylor Dresen, or do you want us to just go by Taylor?
I don't really address that
Don't you?
ever. Yeah. So.
Welcome to the Business Boys Talkin Business Virtual Power Lunch. Please welcome your hosts, Tyler Price and Brian Magleby.
Hey, we're here.
Talking some business.
Talking some business, and Harriman State Park is what we're told.
That's right, man. I grew up there, and that just a few miles north of there. But man, that is beautiful.
Yeah, it is a great area.
It is.
We spent a lot of time up there.
Wow. Yeah, that is gorgeous in the background, and probably a few fish there in that there lake. So
Yeah.
Harriman State Park. Good. Well, it's good to be talking some business. Last week, Casey Jackman.
Man, that guy started just as a tech and built something, and then built some more, and then
now carries the 3-digit
continued,
title,
yeah.
COO of IF Community Hospital. Absolutely great to have him on the show and interview him. And we appreciate him being on here in today's show. Wow.
Yeah, Jeremy Taylor, that guy's cool. He does cool
An area
stuff.
legend. Here's what this guy is. He's been on radio here since for the last, 20-something years?
Yeah, drives cool cars, has cool watches.
I covet this guy every time I see him, whether it's what he's driving, whether it's what he's wearing, man. This guy I can never, his watches. Oh, he got me started collecting watches.
I can't tell time, so that's why.
So Jeremy is just the guy that I'm sure we're not the only ones that covet everything this guy does.
Yeah,
So.
does great, cool stuff.
He has a morning show, and then he plays entrepreneur the rest of the day.
Yeah, he gets out, and we'll talk more. We'll get him up here and talk more about what he does, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah. But what about our sponsors? Hey, we love our sponsors. They've done a
Couldn't
great
do
job.
the show without them, so we've got BBSI. Man, those guys had a grand opening last week. They just moved 100 yards away from their old location, but they are absolutely great down Snake River Landing. These guys are just the masters of anything human resources. These guys are just can't say enough about Jeremy Hicks, Mike, Jared, their whole team
Mark,
down there.
Yeah, great guys and gals running that shop, and the open house was great. Food was good, and it was a good time.
It was
a really good time.
Yep, and we've got Volpine Marketing that keeps us up to date on our website. So we've got every show for 2021 on there.
Wow. That's awesome.
And they just keep on adding them. So, and New Line Media, we're in the studio of theirs, and absolutely does a great job down here in downtown Idaho Falls. If you have any video work that needs to be done, highly recommend New Line Media. So,
and the Idaho Innovation Center, you do a great job of running that and coaching people up and getting startups going and making. There's a lot of success stories that have come out from that.
Taking business to the next level. That's what we do there.
Yeah. And the best kept secret in all of Idaho.
All of Idaho.
The SBDC, Small Business
Idaho
Development
SBDC, and we talk about it being the best kept secret in Idaho. But if your business needs any kind of consulting, coaching, that's where you need to go. IdahoSBDC.org is the website. You can request an appointment, and it will cost you how much?
Zero. Wow.
So
that's awesome.
Feel free to give us a call. We appreciate the sponsors here. So the guy that we have on the show today he's kind of reached that level of success that he's put together this donating to the schools. And we're going to watch a clip here that just to kind of introduce the great work Jeremy does for the schools. And this is a couple minute clip that we're going to watch. It was just I watched it just a couple weeks ago on KIFI, and then we'll have Jeremy on the set.
Great.
Well, school lunches. For some kids, sadly, it is their only meal of the day. Oftentimes, the school lunch debt can pile up. But I found a man with a platform to make a change and raise funds to pay off those lunch debts. And we wanted to pay it forward.
100.7 My FM, thanks for tuning in.
You know Jeremy Taylor from 100.7 My FM, but did you know he has a lot to do with area school lunchrooms?
It's something that I've wanted to do for a couple of years, but I wanted to do it personally, like just privately. I didn't want to make a big to-do about it, and so I started reaching out to schools to find out if someone were to want to donate to this cause to pay down school lunch debt. Who would you talk to? Where would you go? And the more I found out, the more I realized this is a big issue. This is a big problem.
He's talking about school lunch debts and the accruing balances. So after the pandemic shutdown got out of the way in 2020, he started the Jeremy Taylor School Lunch Project January 1st of 2021.
East Idaho stepped up. I mean, we've got multiple donors that have come back again and again.
He's primarily the voice of the project and uses his radio platform to collect the funds. The money then goes to area school districts to pay off school lunch debt.
Yep, 100% of the proceeds do go to this cause, 100%.
If you donate more than $25, you get a Jeremy Taylor Morning Show Shaker Cup as a thank you. And the school districts are very thankful.
And to be able to go and meet with the...
Jeremy, how are you?
Good.
Good.
How are you?
I'm doing well. So I'm Corey with Mountain America Credit Union.
Okay.
And you're like, I know you.
I was just about to say, we're mid-interview.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we actually have heard of what you're doing in the community.
Okay.
And providing lunches for our community.
Yeah.
And so we're here today to pay it forward. So I brought with me today $500. I know you can continue to use to help those in need and continue to help pay for the lunches of those that truly need it in our community and further your cause. So on behalf of Mountain America Credit Union, we'd like to pay it forward with $500, man.
You guys are awesome.
So,
Bring it in. That is so cool. Thank you so much. Great cause.
Thank you for all that you do.
Well, again, donations like this and the people in the community rallying around the Jeremy Taylor School Lunch Project, that is what keeps the wheels turning. And we did have a slow period over the summer months, but we've ramped back up. And as I told the crew here, we're about to give a donation, which is why Heather's here. We're about to give another donation next week to School District 93.
Heather Plain is the Child Nutrition Supervisor in Bonneville School District 93. She agrees the Jeremy Taylor School Lunch Project is addressing a real problem.
My team, they would just rather die than have to deal with the charges with a child. And so I can tell you every single member of my staff has covered a meal. They have done it so that kids will eat and those charges aren't there. A couple weeks ago, we had a situation where a child came back to school in the very same clothes they went home in, and they were starving. They hadn't had anything since they had left, so lunch was their last meal. And this is elementary school.
So the next day, we met up at the district office for the big check presentation.
Heather, thank you for your work. Thank your team for your work. On behalf of Jeremy Taylor in the Morning and the Jeremy Taylor School Lunch Project, I present to you, with the assistance of Mountain America, a $1,000 check to aid in your mission, feeding the kids, not just in this school, but the entire school district. We love what you guys are doing.
Thank you so much. Thank you. This is very, very generous.
A double pay it forward. How do you like that? Well, Heather tells me that $1,000 will feed 333 secondary level students or 400 elementary school kids.
Well, that's great.
Wow.
So over the years, I mean, you've seen a lot of need in this area. You're from the area. So what was it that really kind of made it so you wanted to get, start this organization and get it going and keep it going, for that matter?
So with the previous station that I was on, I mean, I've been on two stations, and I'm fortunate to be able to say that. So many DJs bounce around in their careers. But I've kept it to two different stations, and in the previous station there was coins for Christmas shoes, and to be able to reach out to the local schools for kids that were in need in this capacity, that alone was an eye opener. That alone was an eye opener. But then once you start having conversations with the administration, people who work at the schools, the lunch, room, etc., there's a huge issue with student lunch debt and how it piles up, and the kids can't afford it, the families can't afford it, the schools do what they can to cover it, but even it gets to where they can't afford it. And it's like, well, what are we doing? COVID and some of the government assistance did help in that capacity, but as I spoke to Heather from District 93, it's not a blank check. It's a certain amount of funds, and when they're gone, they're gone. And so there's definitely still a need for programs like, or funds like the Jeremy Taylor School Lunch Project. But that's why I started initially, and Todd Coons kind of covered that in the little bit that he did. But originally, I just wanted to do it as just something Jeremy did, just kind of under the table, not under the table, but you know what I mean, just kind of
on the side.
Yeah, on the side, out of the public eye, just something that I felt like I should be a part of. And as I got talking to somebody else about that, somebody at District 91, they said, "Oh, there's a huge need for that." And I thought, okay, maybe this is bigger than what I could do.
And I bet you the people don't. There's not many. I mean, there are kids all the time that come to the school in the same clothes that they were in the other day, and they may not have much to eat that night, and that's all they get is what the school can have. And so
I've had 2 school districts now confirm that there are absolutely, and they never divulge who the kids are, and it's none of my business. And frankly, I don't need to know. But they've told me that there are absolutely specific examples of kids who, when they eat at school, that's it. There is no food at home. There is no additional meal that they go home to after school, and that's. I'm sorry, but that's heartbreaking.
It is. That's a great foundation that you've started there. How much have you been able to donate this past year?
So our first donation took place right after first quarter. So as soon as I launched it, January 1, those first 3 months, people really got behind it. And little donations, $5, $10, $20. We donated $1,000 to School District 91, and that was in April. And then just recently, as you saw, we did another $1,000. Summer was slow. Summer was slow, but we ramped up quickly once school was back in. We had that other $1,000 for School District 93. And now, because of the exposure, we're on our way. We're just literally like about $140 shy of another $1,000 donation that we want to do before the end of the calendar year.
Very good.
Cool.
Well,
Very cool.
I commend you for your work there. That's absolutely phenomenal. So talk to us. I have to say that I go back with Jeremy until I can't even do it because of the table. But way below this table, we started, we grew up in the same neighborhood in Rexburg, Idaho. So take us on a journey of the man, the myth, the legend, Jeremy Taylor. Talk about your going up and how you got into the radio stuff, and then we'll evolve into the businesses that you've got.
Okay. Well, I mean, to make the radio story short and concise, radio for me started at a dance club. You remember the clubs in Rexburg?
Galleria.
Yep. I DJ'd at both, ended up managing one, and at that point chose to advertise on some local stations. And Delynn Hendricks, bless her heart. Everybody loves Delynn. She saw something in me when I would come in to voice those commercials for the club, and she reached out to me after I had graduated school in Rexburg. I moved down to Salt Lake. I was attending the U, and she called me once a month for an entire year to try to convince me to come back up and hop on Z103. And I told her, I said, Delynn, I'm from East Idaho, and it'll always have a special place in my heart, but I'm not moving back. I did. On that 12th month, actually the 11th month, I said, Delynn, I'll give you 2 years. I'll come up, we'll do it for 2 years, and then we'll go from there. And that was 22 years ago.
No, that's
Z103, one of the
Yeah.
legends of Z103, started there with Brad, Tara,
and Jeremy,
Yeah.
back in the day.
Yeah.
yeah.
And then you've graduated over to my 100.7 My FM.
Yep, and I've been there for the last 12 years now, which
That's
is
amazing.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable how fast that time has gone. But it's been fun. It's been a challenge to do your own show. You don't have somebody else to bounce things off of.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of, hey, let's roll with this thing and get people on the phone and do all these phone bits. And I don't know if people call them phone bits. That's what we called them. But anyway, so it was a learning curve there for the first few years. But I feel like I'm delivering very short, concise but entertaining content without going on and on and on for 5 minutes.
Right.
So My FM, for those of you that don't know, is super heavy music. So if you're looking for a good listen at work station that's family friendly, less talk, less commercials, more music. 100.7 My FM is the station.
It is.
So how has that evolved from when you were being a DJ to going to college to coming back? Radio had a real strong following.
Yeah.
And things evolved, and some stations evolve with it and some don't, right? Because if we look at newspapers, for instance, there's been a lot of companies that have gone out of newsprint companies that were 100 plus years old.
Yeah.
Yellow Page companies.
Yeah, Yellow
newspapers,
Pages. People don't even know what the Yellow Pages are.
I haven't even unwrapped mine this year, but I got it there to laugh at. So.
But what is that like, the evolution of, because you've seen it, you've lived it, and you're seeing it now, but what is the evolution of radio and how does it stay relevant?
So I believe that, and these are just my thoughts, what do I know? You know what I mean? Just 22 years of being a jock doesn't mean I've been in upper management, but from what I've seen, I think it's actually social media that has changed how radio works. Not Pandora, not other music streaming services. I think it's social media, and the reason why is because it used to be such a big deal. You know what I mean? This guy I'm hearing his voice on the radio or her voice on the radio. I'm going to go see them while they're broadcasting live and get a free lanyard or, whatever.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly. Well, in the day of social media, anybody can be an influencer.
Yeah.
Anybody can be a star in the comfort of their own home, in a studio like this.
Yes.
And so the day of oh my goodness, he's a DJ or she's a DJ, I don't know that it's that awesome for the listener anymore. I think there's still a cool factor to it. Hey, I wake up in the morning and I hear you, while I'm taking a shower or whatever. So I think there's that. But I believe that social media is what has changed radio more than other streaming services.
Yeah.
People still want to be connected
Yeah.
to their local communities.
Yes.
And Pandora's not going to do that for you.
Right.
You know what I mean? Apple Music is not going to do that for you. So if you want to feel connected to your community, you want to know what's happening in your backyard or in the city next to you or whatever, you're going to find that out on local stations and on their digital platforms.
Yeah, it's and we were talking about it before. It's a area of advertising and streaming that just isn't going to go away because of the emergency networks and things like that. It will not go away.
Right.
And that's the part you can't say about other forms of media. So So I want. You do this as an early morning gig, and then talk to us about some of the businesses that you've done. You've had a marketing company for what?
14 years.
14
now.
years now.
Yeah.
Absolutely great. Talk about the work that you do there, and then we'll go into the next one.
Yeah, not a problem. So Glacier Marketing is the name of the marketing company, and it was born, in my opinion, because of necessity. I felt like being in the radio side of things, and not a lot of people know this, but while I was an on-air personality and have been for 22 years, I got my hand in the sales side of the business early on. I'd only been on air for a year when the general manager, Dave Taylor at the time, said, hey, listen, I want you to try sales. And then the rest was history. I absolutely loved it. Not necessarily the selling part of it, but the marketing aspect of it. Just absolutely loved it. It was so creative.
Genius in the some of the stuff I've used.
You
and we've for all those 14 years, and absolutely he does phenomenal work in there to see. And it wasn't the good part about it. He wasn't just coming in to pitch radio. He was saying. you got to be here, you got to do this media, you got to do this, you got to have presence here, and things like that.
Yeah, and I'm always very transparent with every single client that Glacier Marketing represents, or when we get phone calls, people saying, hey, I hear you do this, what do you do? I make sure they understand, am I an on-air personality for radio? Absolutely. But that doesn't mean I'm a cheerleader that you spend all your money there. Yeah. I'm a huge believer in a well-rounded marketing mix, and that doesn't always include radio, depending on the budget, or depending on what they're trying to accomplish. But I'll just sum up the how Glacier came to be story by just saying that after my stint as one of the sales managers at Z103 Caber and the Hawk, I kind of saw the landscape of agencies, marketing agencies in East Idaho, and I felt like there was room for something different. There was room for something that wasn't being done, in my opinion. And so I reached out to my brother, who's a genius creative director and graphic designer, and he works for Fortune 100 companies around the world. And I said, hey, Dave, this is something I want to do. Would you want to come in as a partner? And he said, absolutely. And so for those first probably 5 years of Glacier, it was all graphic design and media marketing. That was it. Graphic design and media marketing. And that's how we built. Yeah. And then from there, we've added more and more service lines. And we now have partner companies that we work with to offer services that we don't do in-house. And it's a pretty robust situation right now. So if a client does need marketing, and it doesn't matter what kind of marketing, could be social media, could be internet marketing, it just doesn't matter. Yeah. We can handle all of it.
And if that wasn't enough for Jeremy to have the be on air DJ running a marketing company, and if that wasn't enough, then a couple years ago, what did you take on? What was the next venture you took on?
Well, Tyler Price over here knows a thing or two about this industry, but yeah, 6 years ago, actually 7 years ago, my wife and I started looking at franchises. Nothing major. We didn't have the money to buy a McDonald's or a Chick-fil-A. Yeah. But we started looking at smaller franchises that would be somewhat easy to get into, easy in terms of qualifications and capital. And we came across one called Phoenix Salon Suites. And my wife is a licensed cosmetologist, doesn't really do it, but has always maintained her license, and so it really piqued her interest. And
I gotta say, she gave you one heck of a haircut. Dude, I just gotta say,
one heck of a hair buff.
Yes, that's right. She buffed it good this morning.
That's right. So. That's right. No, but that's it. We stumbled across Phoenix. We did our due diligence. We looked into them. They looked into us, and it just felt right. There really wasn't a solution like Phoenix Salon Suites in East Idaho. That, again, I don't mean to offend anybody who has a salon suite concept, but we didn't feel like it was being done properly or to the level that it could. Yeah. And so by bringing Phoenix Salon Suites to Idaho Falls, it just made sense, and it took some education. Yeah. That first year or two was a lot of educating the salon and beauty professionals why this is so awesome for you and your clients. Yeah. And anyway, things went well in Idaho Falls, and then somehow it was almost overnight, even though we said, yeah, we have too many irons in the fire, let's just stop.
So you added another one.
Yeah, so anyway, long story made short, yes, we've got 3 more locations down in Utah. Yeah. So.
Yeah, and it's kind of an exciting concept, I think, and again, I'm a little biased to it because we own a school and we train people, and the thing that we want for our graduates is for them to go succeed. Yeah. And when you look at what it takes for them to have real estate up front and center, they just don't have that ability. And what your Salon Suites is able to do is to compartmentalize it down and let many people share the expense of it, and then you turn a profit as well.
That's right.
But what is that like? Because sometimes you're dealing with people that are destined for poverty, and this is their only option. So what is it like for you to interact with the people that, because you are giving them an opportunity, again, to be in an A-listing real estate place at a fraction of the price. Right. And you've got to be compensated for that. But there's also this other part that I think kind of speaks to your lunch thing too. But you're really impactful. And what is that like for you and Leah?
The culture that Phoenix Salon Suites has worldwide, we say worldwide because they're now in the UK, but as a franchise, they have what they call a culture, and it really is a family. And Leah and I have taken that, and we've kind of molded it to our own culture, almost by going a few steps beyond what Phoenix corporate would have us do. We view every single one of those professionals as family, as if that's my sister or my brother in there cutting hair or doing eyelash extensions or whatever. What can we do to help you be more successful? Wow. What can we do? Do you need do you need a week for free when you first move in? Would that help you kind of get things started? What about maternity leave? You know what I mean? Let's work that into the equation. Things that they would never be able to get if they were to just try to go out and literally be 100% on their own. And not that they work for us. They don't work for us. They work for themselves. But what can we do to help? What can we do to help assure your success? And the fact that our suites are full and that there is a waiting list at each of the locations, I think that speaks to the concept.
Yeah. No, I think so, and I appreciate it because I like to see my graduates find good places to work, and sometimes it is them being off the beaten path in almost a shed because that's what they can afford.
Right.
And again, you bring them front and center, A-listed type retail spot.
Yeah, it's a beautiful facility.
Yeah, it is. You guys did an amazing job, and there is some
highly
great
recommend.
business going on in there. So.
Yeah, what's your advice to other entrepreneurs out there? You've taken and the entrepreneur bug's bitten you, and you've done very, very well with your own companies and then your own business, and in addition to the success on the radio. So, what's your advice to other people?
I'll tell you what. If the passion isn't there, if you don't love what it is that you're chasing, it's not just about sending your dollars to work. Yeah. I mean, it is, but that's not it. You've got to be passionate. You've got to love what you're about, that path that you're about to walk down, or every day is going to be miserable. It's no different than working for the man or working for somebody else in a job where you're like, I could be doing something else. It doesn't matter if you're working for yourself if that's your mentality when you wake up in the morning. So when I wake up in the morning, I absolutely love radio. I love what I do. And when I'm done there and I go to work for Glacier Marketing and our clients, I absolutely love what I do there. Yeah. And I'm passionate about it. And my wife, now that our Phoenix locations are open, she takes lead on that. I do very little now that those are up and running. And she is, again, very passionate about that industry. So my advice would be whatever it is that you want to do, I don't care if it's a franchise or starting something from scratch, just make sure that it's something that you have a drive for. It's almost like a burning inside, like, you know what, I've wanted to be a part of something like this and I see it being done, but I can do it better.
Yeah. Well, I think you have to have some vision as well in addition to that passion and drive, because when you were a DJ and the radio manager said, hey, I want you to go sell, if you would have said, nah, I'm good just being a DJ, what do you think would have happened?
None of this.
Yeah.
Glacier wouldn't exist. Phoenix wouldn't exist.
And where would your career have gone too?
Right. I mean, I'd still be on air.
Yeah.
I'm sure that I'd still be on air because, again, I love it. But all these other opportunities, the Jeremy Taylor School Lunch Project, the FUBU Fund at the Snake River Animal Shelter, I don't believe that those things would exist had Dave Taylor not offered that and talked me into jumping into sales all those years ago.
Yeah. No, I think that's
very good. I gotta say, when I say the man, the myth, the legend,
oh man,
that
he loves hearing that.
He is. He's lived such a great life, and now being able to get into the philanthropic side of things, but he is a true example of raising yourself to success in this area. So we're just honored to have you on the show. We love 100.7 My FM. They're doing a great job. Yep. Highly recommend you listening to them in the morning. So Jeremy, is there anything else that, of all the different projects that you have, is there anything else that you'd like to talk to us about today on Talkin Business?
I do want to say this, just as I wrap that. Well, just as you wrap that up. Yes, the decisions, and in answer to your question, where would I be without that offer from Dave Taylor and my willingness to take him up on that? there isn't anything that I've done that hasn't been with the assistance of people that were along the way. You know what I mean? I mentioned Delyn Hendricks. There were several others that had a crucial part in that evolution. And each major milestone, you know, whether it be my time at Z103 or moving over to My FM, Keith Walker is the one that originally asked me to come to My FM. So Keith Walker, I would mention him. In terms of Glacier, my word, there's a lot of people there. Jim Burgoyne was very supportive of my starting Glacier Marketing, and anyway, the list goes on and on. But there are people involved in, you know, behind the scenes that I think anybody who's successful that says, "Hey, look what I did." No. That took a team. You know what I mean? There were a lot of people behind the scenes that maybe people didn't know or realize or see that helped move that person, you know, along.
And you did mention Leah, but let's mention her one more
time.
Oh,
absolutely. My wife, big time. She's been a huge supporter of everything, and there's been some you know, where you take the 2 steps forward, 1 step back. We tried getting into events there for a little bit. We had a craft fair, a man show, a harvest fest. I mean, we had a whole bunch of events that were exhausting. Because it's a lot of man hours. They were exhausting, and so I'm glad that we kind of learned that lesson and walked away from those. No offense to anybody who puts on events.
No.
It's just not for us. But anyway.
Very good. I highly recommend you listen to 100.7 My FM. If you need marketing done, contact Glacier Marketing. And if you need your hair cut, Phoenix Salons. If you're here or in Utah, wherever you may be, Phoenix Salons is the place to go. So absolutely great to have you on the show, Jeremy Taylor.
Thank you.
It's and I'll leave it just with the man, the myth, the legend. And as a prize today, we're gonna give away Jeremy's got quite the collection of cars, and we're gonna have one. Is it gonna be they have it for a week or for a month? Which one is it?
They get a sit in it for I'll give them 3 minutes.
3 minutes. All right.
There's a lot that can happen in 3 minutes.
Very good. Well, we appreciate you being here, and we're going to do a transition into some training. We're going to talk about the 212 degrees. What is the significance of the numbers 212? So we're going to have you watch this video, and you'll know what the significance of 212 degrees is.
You guys.
You just ask a few questions and let you go, man.
Step out of the way.
Oh, could you hear it?
Sorry, man. Piece of paper.
Yeah, there you go. Was it bad? Got it. Sorry.
Yeah, Jeremy and I were just having an important conversation, and then the video stopped.
Yeah.
So we had to, we'll carry on in a second.
Yeah.
Talk about 212 degrees.
Boy,
so
isn't it? It's just that much more.
just
effort,
a little bit
effort.
more.
Yeah.
And this is such a great principle, whether it's in business, whether it's in the marriage, whether it's in family, whatever it is, your coworkers. It's just a little bit of extra things that you can do that makes so much of a difference. At 200, and let's just read here on the screen, at 211 degrees, water is hot. At 212 degrees, it boils. And with boiling water comes steam. And with steam, you can power a train. Just 1 degree. And that's just the little extra things that you can do in business and life that just make the difference.
Yeah, and we try to bring this philosophy in this book into our business with our culture. As you mentioned, culture, we want our employees to really buy in and realize that it's not much more effort. You're there, you're putting in the same amount of time. Because if we look inside Phoenix Salon Suites, for instance, suite by suite, the income level there's probably some discrepancy, right? And the amount of time being put in probably isn't that much different. So it is,
Right.
it's just doing these little extra things that in business, I like how you said in marriage too, in raising kids, and because really for me, it's killing a spider, doing dishes, and making a bed. I do those 3 things, and my wife is a lot happier. So anyway.
Yeah, it's just those little extra things that you can do, that compliment that you can give the employee. Whatever it is, just do that little extra, a little something more, and there will be rewards beyond. Like it says, that 1 degree is enough to power a train.
Yeah, it gets it going.
So I want to read this one quick paragraph here, and it's right there on the screen. Applying 1 extra degree of temperature to water means a difference between something that is simply very hot and something that generates enough force to power a machine. A beautifully uncomplicated metaphor that should feed our every endeavor, consistently pushing us to give the extra effort in every task, every action and effort we undertake. 212 serves as a forceful drill sergeant when it's motivating and focused message while adhering to the scientific law, a natural law. It's just a little bit doing that little extra something, and I like to look at it just that little extra comment, the compliment of someone, and it's absolutely that one extra thing that you can do that makes so much of a difference. Just like 211 to 212 is enough to power a train, and just. I encourage you, as it says there on the very bottom of the screen, and that 1 extra degree of effort in business and in life separates the good from the great.
Yeah. Amen.
Amen.
Is there a book you're giving away or something?
There is.
Oh, wait, there's a quote of Jeremy's that
we have to get. We missed the final quote of Jeremy's. Absolutely, if we can go back to
there it is. There it is. Yeah, never make an important decision while on vacation. And
I love it.
I love it, yeah.
I thought of this one, no joke, like 20 years ago when I was just barely, I'd gone from doing afternoons to mornings, and I was on a vacation, and I thought, well, it doesn't matter what I thought. There were a few things that I thought would be a great idea, and then you come home and you realize those are horrible ideas. And the reason why you think they're great ideas while you're on vacation is because you're on vacation. The sun is out. It feels good. You're eating what you want. There's no work. It's like, boy, I could do anything right now. So yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that that good ideas are all horrible while on vacation. I'm just saying, just wait till you get home and then reprocess it. If it makes sense at home in the midst of the stress, then you go.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah.
Very good. So if you could put my cell phone number up there, if you could do that, we're going to ask a quick little trivia question, and the question is, and this you might have to guess at, but some of you people that know Jeremy know that he drives some nice rides.
Yeah.
If you could text me something that he drives, you're going to get a copy of this book, 212 Degrees.
There you go.
And one of his nice rides. He's got many of the nice rides. or maybe one of his nice watches that he's always wearing, and something. Tell me something a little bit about that you know about Jeremy Taylor, the man, the myth, the legend.
Good luck.
Yeah. Very good. We'll encourage you to live your life being at 212 degrees. Don't be at 211. Step it up and do 212. So, absolutely some great stuff. Let's talk about next week's show. We have Lynn Nelson, owner of Alpha Graphics. I've been in communication with him this morning. He'll be on the show next week, and we're excited for that. He's built quite an empire.
Boy, he's done good things. He really has.
He's got many locations, and he's built a multi-million-dollar facility here in town that is absolutely great, and he's expanded to many other states as well. So we're going to have Lynn Nelson on. We're excited to have Lynn Nelson on next week. We're going to end the show today with a little bit about the best kept secret in Idaho.
There we go, SBDC.
Idaho SBDC. Here's a quick ad with them, and we'll see everybody on Talkin Business next week. Thank you. Give us a thumbs up.
Oh,
got to have the thumbs up.
Double thumbs. Watch out.
All right.